All right, peace family. We're here. We're live. This is episode 2 of our podcast featuring our brother Sheik, D. Clement L. We're going to be speaking about health and wellness. This is going to be a powerful bill. Definitely click like and share as always. And I'm not going to take up a whole bunch of your time. We're going to go ahead and get things started up now. Don't go anywhere. Peace.
Unlock the Keys, a powerful guide to Moorish identity, divine law, and self-mastery. Praised by sheiks and scholars alike, and Moors across the nation are calling it a must-read. Grab your signed copy now at moorishamerica.com for just $23. Or get the paperback on Amazon, also $23. Prefer digital? The Kindle version is only $3.99.
All right, here we are. I'm live with my brother D. Clement L. Peace and love, brother. How you doing?
Islam, peace and love, peace and love.
All right, Islam. Gratitude to have you on here. Before we really go into this topic and really get started, I just want to remind everybody that this brother does have a book. The link to get his book is on Amazon. You can go to the link in the video description to grab this brother's book. Now, please let us know a little bit more about yourself, and also let the Moors know about your book before we get started, because this is right in tune with today's topic.
Islam, indeed. First and foremost, I'm risen, giving all praise to Allah, highest honors to His Prophet Noble Drew Ali, highest honors to all the divinely led prophets. Highest honors to our Supreme Grand Sheik King Umar Bey up in Mecca. Highest honors to his staff and officials. Highest honors to all the Moors, all the Moorish Americans, all the Muslims all over the world. Highest honors to you, Grand Sheik, Douglas Bey, Douglas L, excuse me. And the staff and officials here at 30 in Columbus. Just honors and gratitude for this opportunity, this moment to come to the people and share about the book, Vegan, Mostly Alkaline. I wrote it with the intention of making alkaline a little bit more accessible to the people, a little less intimidating. I know that a few years ago, when the alkaline thing went really popular, you know, a lot of people mentioned how limiting the list was. And, you know, I did a lot of research in my journey, my personal journey of, you know, becoming vegan, and then, you know, just on that alkaline, trying to, I would say, just get to the most pristine food quality that I could get, you know, and just be the best that I could be. So basically, the book is a compilation of recipes that I used and that I still use, I have been using since 2017. And basically this is just what I eat, how I eat. Um, I was saying, well, I won't do a plug or anything like that because it's still in the works. But what we're gonna talk about tonight, with health in general, and fasting. This book is a companion for the subject. A lot of people, when they find out about the alkaline food list or the Afro Bio Mineral food list, the grocery list, the purpose of the list is to to replenish and maintain after you come off of your fast. So that's pretty much how, the cookbook becomes, a part of this conversation right now, because we just went into our annual Moorish American fast. It started 2 days ago, so we're 48 hours in now. And yeah, it's a Ramadan style fast. So some people, are uh eating breakfast before the sunrise and then breaking their fast at dinner time with the sunset. Um, so there's going to be a lot of different foods still being prepared and shared. So the cookbook even comes up again for that purpose. But Islam, I
Islam, and yeah, definitely. Some of us didn't even eat this morning. You know, we didn't break fast until just now. So yeah, definitely
Islam.
gratitude for sharing that, and also for speaking on the fast that we're doing from now December 8th, for the most part, December 8th until the Prophet's birthday, Prophet Uncle Ali, on January 8th, 2026. So that's great. Yeah, and I'm bringing more light to that too. For anybody that's interested in more information about doing that with us, feel free to reach out. But yeah, I'd say let's go ahead and go into the topic now. We're speaking about health, in general, like health and wellness of the people. Please let us know, what brought you to that conclusion. Like what made you want to discuss that today.
Islam. Um, to be honest, I pretty much talk about it a lot. Like, it's one of the things that I talk about probably more. I would say either that or like astrology, something, you know. With us going into the Moorish American fast, you know, it does it does bring us to a time of the year where it becomes emphasized, especially, with it starting December 8th, it goes to January 8th. So, just looking at the dates that was chosen and thinking about how some people might struggle throughout the holidays, just in the Moorish paradigm alone. But when you add food and trying to do better, or, you know, just trying to be better, it could get a little bit uh lonesome. So, you know, I said way back when I started fasting, it was something that changed the entire dynamic of my life, of like my entire reality, like my environment, my immediate environment changed, as a result of me saying, I'm gonna start fasting. I'm going to start just drinking water. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to stop drinking alcohol. I'm going to
Hey, if I can
stop
get you just to stop right there, like what you're saying
Islam. Islam.
is a big deal with taking control of how you consume or how you eat, nourishment, how you nourish the body, right? Saying that you're gonna drink water, you're gonna eat better, that probably means eating less or more reasonable proportions as well. And like that's huge, man. I was just earlier today, right? I was watching this documentary. It's only like 15, 20 minutes on the Amish, right? The Amish community out here, like where we're at. They're in like Lancaster County, right? I think they're in Pennsylvania. But they were coming together for something, maybe something they do every week. Whereas a bunch of them in a community, like together in one building, and they're eating. They're everyone's going and getting their food, making their plates, and they were talking in there how even though they're having this, you know, gathering type thing, they still aren't feasting. They just get a small portion. They're eating not to, and they said they were not eating to feel good. They're nourishing the body. They're not,
Islam.
and that's a big deal because I think even without us thinking about it, without even putting any thought into what we're doing with, eating not, just to nourish the body, right? We're you know fulfilling emotional, holes. We're doing all types of stuff with the food, and then feeding the greed too. So that's a big deal to take control of that. And they have like a whole community that's doing that, right? There's not supposed to be any people that are obese that live in their community because for them that's a sin. So just yielding the floor back to you, but just wanted to add that for context.
Islam, no, it's powerful that you said that because we do a call, and today the speaker mentioned temperance. That was her measure, was about temperance, and that's what that looks like. We have instructions in our Holy Quran, the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet, draw lead by the God of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man through his sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father God Allah. Islam is in chapter 23, holy instructions for thy children. There's an instruction, teach him temperance and he shall have health. So we could see that, by practicing that temperance, and we know that's defined as being moderate, and even thoughtful about what we put in, but also the amounts too. And it's very powerful that you said that, because that thoughtfulness, that mindfulness, you know, that starts to go into our decision making. And that was something that you had just mentioned to me, Grand Sheik, about the decision making, and how it was Pythagoras, if you want to get into that, because that is really what what I learned with my very first fast. When I speak about it, I say, I didn't really have any experienced guidance. I didn't have any wise counsel. So I just, I just made a decision. I had the will. I made a decision to do it. But what I learned as a result was around day 3. between day 3 and day 4, there's this clarity that just comes. It's just a certain level of clear thinking and clear vision, like actual vision, like out of the eyes. It gets really clear. And I was like, wow. And then when you brought this to my awareness, I was like, wow. So Islam,
Yeah, that's amazing, and it's true, but it's something that we can only experience when we put in the discipline, to strengthen ourselves. But definitely, this is the type of wisdom that has been forgotten in this day and age, right? 2025, when it, selling and promoting all this stuff to put in our bodies to constantly, be eating and doing things like drinking stuff, eating stuff all the time. We're not even trying to tap into the power that we have. But with what you were speaking about, with Pythagoras, yeah, in this the secret teaching of all ages by Manly P. Hall, he's speaking about Pythagoras and the followers of him, or people who learned from him the information and stuff that he brought forth. They're going over the teachings that he brought forth, and he was almost revered like a prophet because he brought so much like scientific information. And Pythagoras didn't make this stuff up; he learned from the ancient Egyptians. And one of the things in there, like what you see up here on the screen, Pythagoras declared that the eating of meat clouded the reasoning faculties. While he did not condemn it, he didn't condemn its use or totally abstain therefore from himself. He declared that judges should refrain from eating meat before a trial in order that those who appeared before them might receive the most honest and astute decisions. Meaning, there was an understanding from the ancients. Remember, he's getting this information, pulling this understanding from the ancients, ancient cultures that knew that the consuming of, dead animals, it messes with our ability to make honest and astute decisions. It clouds our reasoning faculties. And so if you're going through it, you're up and down, if you're emotional, if you're angry at your mate or whatever's going on, right? Like we are what we eat. You hear people say that you are what you eat. But we're consuming this stuff and it's affecting our ability to think and to see clearly. And yeah, I yield the floor back to you, brother.
Islam is very powerful, and that's a powerful point that I made. There's another pamphlet book that I'm working on right now, the Moorish American Health Guide. I don't know if I want to call it a guide or like I really don't know what else to call it. It's just general information about health and healthcare and like solutions, a few ideas and solutions, practical things that people can do, actionable things aside from fasting and the cookbook and eating different. But one thing that I included early, like the first part of the book, I wanted to speak about a brief history on healthcare, and I found that the Hippocratic Oath, or what they're calling the Hippocratic Oath. I was doing research on the Hippocratic Oath, and what I found was one version of it saying that the person that is swearing this oath will use dietary regimens which will benefit their patients according to their greatest ability and judgment, and they will do no harm or injustice to them. Neither will they administer a poison to anybody when asked to do so, nor will they suggest such a course. And that was one part of the second or third paragraph that I wanted to point out because, like you said, this is ancient. And when I was doing this research, because we're coming from, the Moorish perspective, I wanted to make sure that I didn't, naturally, I'm not going to stop there, right? Like, I'm not going to stop at the Hippocratic Oath. So what I learned was about uh this this idea or this tendency that there is through history where we interpret something from one perspective opposed to the origin perspective. And there's a common knowledge that the there's a tendency of the ancient Greeks to identify foreign deities with their own gods. When I read this, I started to think about how people traveled to Egypt to learn, to study, and how they traveled home to share what they learned for the well, will hope for the betterment of their people. But nonetheless, they did indeed leave where they were. They traveled to Egypt to learn things and then take those things that they learned back. And that is what we call like the symbols of the healthcare system, or the things that are associated with medicine, or with pharmacies, or with hospitals. All of those symbols and all of those ideas are ancient ideas, and they're you say the Greek or Roman traveled to Egypt to gain this knowledge. So that's one thing that I did want to add to the conversation, but I will yield.
Oh yeah, and it's interesting with what you read on the Hippocratic Oath, where I was saying use your nutrition, to assist you, and none of that really. I mean, you don't see that being practiced today unless it's some holistic practitioner, which is like a whole different, form of, practicing, physicians. Like they, I don't even know if it's accredited or recognized, by the mainstream, I guess you could say, medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry. I don't know. Like, I don't even know if like you could get healthcare coverage for holistic practitioners. I could be totally wrong. You may be able to be covered, but it's like it's on the fringes. As far as like how it's treated, and so you don't really see them. That they're not practicing that measure that you were just speaking about. With the implementing your nutrition into your healthcare, your well being, and that was just I'm gonna bring that quote up here about Pythagoras again because just going back into that, you spoke on this also too earlier today. It's speaking here saying when Pythagoras would retire into the temple of God to meditate and pray. He took with his supply of specially prepared food and drink. The food consisted of equal parts of seed and poppy and sesame, the skin of the sea onion, from which the juice had been thoroughly extracted, the flower of daffodil, the leaves of mallows, and paste of barley and peas. Then he compounded together with the addition of wild honey for a beverage. He took the seeds of cucumbers, dried raisins with seeds removed, flowers of coriander, right? All of these natural elements, and they're all being implemented into, I guess, his health and well-being. Pythagoras highly esteemed the medicinal properties of the sea onion. Is said to have written an entire volume on the work. Just sharing that because this was known and understood at one point in time. This is understanding and wisdom that, for the most part, has been lost, at least to the mainstream society. Some of the ingredients and stuff that I was just mentioning there, a lot of people, they're just like, ugh, even hearing that stuff, like, they're not, barley and all this, they're not trying to
Islam.
hear any of that. They didn't hear sugar. They didn't hear high fructose corn syrup. All of these poisons and stuff that's bad for us that people are addicted to, man. Stuff that's breaking us down while we're here, while we're alive. And yeah, so it's definitely, it's good that you're speaking on this. It's great that you wrote a book, with the vegan alkaline um, meals, or food in there for people. That's like practical methods for people to take and implement in their lives, because um, this understanding is not being taught to us, right? None of this is being taught to us growing up in schools. Most of our families can't teach us this because they don't know. It was taken from, they didn't get it growing up. So, yeah. Is there anything, like, as we close this session out, is there anything else that you would like to speak on the topic? Anything that you would like to share with us?
Islam. On the topic, I could go with questions. I could go on this topic. I would just say, that regardless of one's background, we can make changes that will benefit us. The day that we decide to make the change, and when we develop that will, in the moment that we begin to act on making that decision, that is the moment that everything changes. And if we stay there in that, life just opens up in a completely different way. It's amazing. So I just wanted to say that, give people some encouragement. Like, I did not think that I could do it. I did not think that I would do it. I never thought that I would be vegan. I never thought that I would be fasting or drinking herbs, teas without sugar in them or honey, or I never thought that I would be the version of myself that I am now. But I was open to change, and I would encourage anybody to just be open to change. But with that, I yield. Peace and love.
That's powerful, brother. Being open to change. And one thing that I would ask that you would do is to close out on the same thing you were speaking on. You opened up speaking about fasting. You share some information about that. I know people may be looking things up about intermittent fasting and different things of that nature. So, yeah, just please share some more info about fasting. And like you said, you had started fasting. Like, how long was it? A daily thing? Was it like, just share with us some of the benefits and what people can do their life, right? Besides going to get the brother's cookbook, make sure you go to the description, get the brother's book. But yeah, share some info, please, on what people could do, and why would they want to fast.
Islam. Why okay, so there's different styles of fasting. Um, the style that I went to first was actually Ramadan. That was the first time that I had fasted. I was probably like 18. I fasted Ramadan, you know, not eating throughout the day. My first Ramadan, they let me drink water. Praise Allah, because I needed it. It was pretty warm. But after my first Ramadan, my second Ramadan, third, it started to get easier. I stopped practicing and I stopped fasting. I switched environments. So everything changed. When when I started fasting back in 2017, my main focus, my goals and my intentions that I set was that I wanted to start the process of ridding my body of mucus and heavy metals. And naturally, 2017, I found out about Dr. Sebi. I found out about Dr. Layla Africa, about uh, people like John Rose. There's a few people that was already advocating for things like fasting, veganism, herbalism, juice, us paying attention to what kind of water we were drinking, what water were we drinking, where was the water coming from. So the fast that I did in 2017 was 7 days water, just water. And I would say, I really do count that as like my first fast because like that was the first time that I ever just drank water for just 7 days, no food, just water for 7 days, a gallon a day. That was the rule, a gallon a day. And the way that I worked it out was that, you have 24 hours in a day to drink a gallon. So that's how I worked it out. Um, Later that year, that was my first fast, my first time trying to be vegan. I did fall off the wagon that Thanksgiving. That the first Thanksgiving as a vegan is the probably the most tempting one, and probably some vegans make it without uh you know dipping their foot back into the pool of macaroni and cheese and collard greens. But my family's macaroni and cheese and collard greens is a little bit hard to deny. So my first year being vegan, I tried it and it didn't pan out for me, and
Yeah,
that was when I was really dedicated after that.
yeah, yeah. Definitely understand that. So, brother, just want to thank you again for coming on here and sharing with everybody, building with us. Um, just another reminder for everyone: make sure you check out the chat. This brother's information's in there. You can click the link to order his book. And on that note, we're gonna go ahead and end this session, but make sure to tune in next week, next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Every Wednesday, 7 p.m. right here on the Moorish America channel. And want to thank you again. Peace and love to everybody.
Islam, and likewise, highest gratitude.
All right, peace.
Peace and love.
I am not a Negro, black, colored, African American. I'm a Moorish American. Peace.
Yeah. Hey, 5 on the right, 2 on the left, man. You know what time it is. We just Moors in America, soar through the shores and endure criminal acts of war on our character. 7 years after the fourth score, no reward. Shout out to the most courageous, they was jumping over barriers. Where does that compare to you? We come from a place where you scared to visit our area. We come from a place where it's scary for good Samaritans. Heavy luggage we carrying, babies having babies. It's crazy being American. Praise the one and only Allah, there's no comparison. La ilaha illa Allah, body and buried gin. Laughing at you clowns like ha ha, dodging the Nephilim. Conquer lower self with the high, follow your regimen. Way before they came we were gods and now we specimen. Tried to take the light from our eyes, thank God for Edison. Then they put the wool on our eyes, it's so embarrassing. Now we travel frequently, we should invest in Sheraton. All of us got gold on our bodies whenever we stepping in. Screaming Ramadan, Mubarak, training the flesh again. Wishing we could move as a unit just like the Mexicans. Dodging all the foods with estrogen, synthetic medicines. All sin isn't devilish. Sometimes the decisions that you make come for a better gift. Sometimes when you sin is to relate to all your brethren. Heavenly gates all in our face, we the champions. We live in the sky, we see the angels on the chariots. Waiting on the $20 bill, face a Harriet. I bet you I'ma carry it. I'm in love with music to the point I wanna marry it. But my love for people is greater, so I write messages. Largest spending power, but we still sit at a deficit. Living amongst prejudice, even at our residence. Moors in America, flourishing, excellent. Let's buy up some neighborhoods and groom our own president. Yeah. And I come to you today with all intentions of spreading love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Unlock the Keys, a powerful guide to Moorish identity, divine law, and self-mastery. Praised by sheiks and scholars alike, and Moors across the nation are calling it a must-read. Grab your signed copy now at MoorishanAmerica.com for just $23. Or get the paperback on Amazon, also $23. Prefer digital? The Kindle version is only $3.99.
Fez Caps blends Moorish style with modern streetwear hats. The cutting-edge design features Moorish symbols with a silk tassel on the dome of the cap. More than just a fashion statement, Fez Caps represents something powerful and ancient within you. Go to fezcaps.com to order your Fez Cap now. Every day, billions of searches are conducted online, therefore it is critical that your company stands out to the small percentage of clients who are essential to your business. Our team of local digital marketing consultants and SEO experts is eager to help your company achieve its goals through a consultative approach, top Google rankings, and collaboration with industry experts. Here at Adept Marketing Solutions, we stand for integrity, dedication, ingenuity, and results. We know how to navigate the ever-changing digital landscape and what brands must do to succeed. Visit our website to see what we can do to help you reach your goals.
CareMore is a non-profit organization focused on providing goods and services to families and individuals in our underfunded communities in Central Ohio. We have created an online presence to reach members of our Central Ohio communities, as well as local events and meetings to give away supplies and donations throughout the city all year long. Visit our website to learn more and to send a donation.
Highest quality handmade fezzes. Crafted fez with the finest wool, complete with tassel and leather sweatband. Wear the national headdress of Moorish Americans with pride and respect. 3XL size fez is a comfortable fit for brothers with dreadlocks. Shipping worldwide. Go to moorishfez.com to order.
Don't let your history start at slavery. Join with Moorish Science Temple, a lawfully chartered Islamic organization, and proclaim your nationality while helping us uplift fallen humanity. Founded by American prophet Noble Drew Ali and consistently promoted plans for the betterment of humankind. We are located in Columbus, Ohio. Visit our website www.moorishamericans.com and follow us on social media. We hold live meetings on Zoom every Friday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give us a call at 614-407-4394 if you would like to join or send donations to help us uplift fallen humanity.